Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to the farm. I'm Justin, and behind me right here is Cadence's Playhouse that we started working on 2 years ago now. We got a couple videos we did last summer on this. I'll put a link to those in the description below. But today, we need to get working on this thing and hopefully get this thing done this summer, because otherwise she's gonna get too old to play with it. So the first thing we're gonna do is add another 2x4 stud where the seam of the siding is here. When I originally framed out the wall, I didn't think about having a stud 4 feet in for the seam, so we'll have to add one in now. All right, so I gotta cut 2 at 117 inches. All right, Cadence, you gonna give me a hand for a couple minutes before you gotta leave for dance?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the rule for the Playhouse?
That I'm gonna help build.
That's right. But since you're busy today, I'm just gonna do some building and do some stuff that you can't help with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we need to do now is measure out. I just measured for those extra studs in the wall.
Yeah.
So now we got to measure them and cut them. So can
Okay.
you help me make marks and measure?
Of course.
All right. There it is, 117. So make the mark right on the 117 line. Let's see.
I tried.
No, that's good. Okay, now we got to do that on the other board too. Okay.
Right here.
Let's see how you did. Let's see, move your thumb. Perfect.
That's very
that.
uncomfortable.
It's hard to do left-handed. You want to try the other side? Okay. There you go.
That's better.
All right. So now I'm going to cut those.
I'm doing it on my own?
Yeah, all by yourself. See, I'm over here. Nice job. All right, you want to carry the other one over?
Yeah. No, I did it all by myself.
You did it all by yourself.
Okay, so this is middle.
Nice job.
Mom! All by myself.
All right. All right. Now that I got that seam all buttoned up with the 2x4 behind it and all screwed down on the front and the back of the Playhouse, next step is to finish the siding on the front and the back. 32. So now I got to make sure to be a little careful and plan out which side to cut, because I want to try to get the factory edge on top of the factory edge that's already up there. And this will be the left side, so it'll go up like this. So I want to make sure I measure from this side, cut that off, and hopefully it'll fit right in. Well, I think that looks really cool. I'm not overly worried about the seam. At some point, we're gonna be building a little porch coming off of here, so there'll be a roof coming off, and that's probably about where the roof line will be. And then around the rest of the Playhouse, we'll end up putting some trim pieces on, put some trim around on the corners and around the windows and door and stuff, make it look really cute. But for now, that's looking awesome. So let's go ahead, button up the other 3 pieces, and we can move on to the roof. All right, so with the front and back siding done, I can start working on the sides. But before I do that, I need to figure out my roof line, because I want to be able to take that siding all the way up to the peak. I am not a professional carpenter. I don't know how to do the math, so we're just going to kind of make this up as we go and see how it turns out. I got a 2x4 that I cut to 3.5 feet. The reason I did 3.5 feet is I have two 10-foot pieces of roofing material. So I want to get that in 3 equal cuts in each piece, because it'll take 3 pieces to cover this roof. So I got about 40 inches of sheet metal, and I need that sheet metal to overhang for trim work and overhang just a little bit. So I want to make sure that this piece will end up smaller than that 40 inches. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just measure over, find my center line, and I'm just going to kind of get an idea of what I want for height here. So about 1 foot to my peak. So then I'm just going to take a level, make a mark on it at the 1 foot line, and I can hold my 2x4 right at the top of that 1 foot line, and I can scribe a mark, and then that should be the angle I need to cut for my peak. Now that I got my peak angle measured, I want to go ahead and get this cut to length and cut the angle for the fascia. And what I need to do is measure over, because I got that 40 inches, and then I got a 3/4 inch trim board that's going to go on, plus I want about 1 inch or so overhang on the metal. So I'm going to go 2 inches back, so I'm going to go 38 inches from the sharp part of the angle. .38 inches. And then I should be able to take the same, hopefully this will work out, take the same angle from the peak and just reverse it. When my angle is up on the peak here, this should be straight up and down, and my board will sit nice and flush and straight. So now that I got this piece made, we'll make the other one. All right, got the first one kind of screwed together. I will add another board in here once I make sure that this geometry is exactly what I want. But let's go up and see how it looks on the roof. Oh man, I think that's gonna look really good. I think that's gonna work out awesome. So now I just gotta figure out if I'm gonna do a notch on that at all and see if I can't get this to set in a little bit better. So I don't know if my plan here is gonna work or not, but what I ended up doing was centering the whole rafter assembly on the Playhouse, marked the outside edge of the siding, and then I took a level plumb and drew a line up on both sides. So now that I got my line drawn, that's the same angle as the siding. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure up 1 inch, mark that, and then I can take my square, hold my square on that line, draw a line straight back, and then that should be my top plate where I can cut that out and it should sit right on top. All right, I got my notches cut on both sides. Let's see how this fits. Ooh, that looks nice. That looks really nice. I like that. There's a little bit of play, but I think if I keep it all the way to one side and keep all of them that exact same side, I think it'll line up okay. And it should make it a lot easier to center all these instead of trying to measure each one individually. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and make my little board in between here, and then we can start mass producing these and hopefully start putting them on the roof. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is measure down 6 inches from the inside seam on both sides. All right, and I should be able to just make some marks. So now that I got that piece cut out, I should be able to just take it, slide it right in the rafter here until those two angles bottom out. And then all I gotta do is screw it in, and I have myself a rafter. So I'm gonna take this back apart. I'm gonna make all these pieces, mass produce them, get it all assembled, and then I will catch up with you when it's time to put these on top of the walls. Well, I got all the rafters assembled. Let's see if my process works and if they're all gonna fit nice. Let's put these things in the Playhouse. Like I say, with those rafters on, it looks like it's really coming together. So the next thing I want to try to tackle is I want to do the siding on the two ends here, get that up, and I want to extend that up 3/4 of an inch above the rafters, because I'm going to have boards I'm going to lay across to screw the roofing into, and I don't want to see the ends of those. I want those covered by the siding. So let's get some measurements and get these panels cut. So I got this siding flipped upside down. Hopefully I don't mess the paint up too much on their side, but it's going to be a lot easier to see and measure and make lines on this back side. So it's only been a year since the siding was started on this, and it's finally done. Obviously we still got trim work to do, windows, doors, but siding is done. So I think next we're gonna head up and start working on the roof. So to start the roof, I gotta put my strips on, and I'm just gonna put one just in from the end a little bit, one in the middle, and then one up towards the ridge. So originally I was gonna take my ridge board that I'm putting on, or the one that's close to the ridge, I was gonna put tight up against the ridge way up here, but after looking at my ridge cap and the way it's gonna screw down, I think I'm gonna make the center of my board 7.5 inches down, so I can screw the cap into that as well. So originally I was thinking about putting another board in between this ridge board and my baseboard here, but considering I'm only 29 inches on center, I don't think it's necessary. I think that's gonna be plenty. And then once I get the ridge cap on and screw that down too, I think that's gonna hold it fine. So I'm just gonna do 2 boards per side. I'll knock out the other side quick, and I'll come back when we're putting metal on. With all the strapping up on the rafters, we can turn our attention to the metal roof. And I'm gonna cut my 10-foot pieces into 3 equal lengths, being 40 inches. And I'm just going to use a small cutoff wheel to do it. So I laid out 3 panels here, and I'm doing that just to verify. They're supposed to be 3-foot width, but I just want to make sure I got a 9-foot panel here, so I know exactly how much to have overhanging. And it actually looks like I got about 9 foot 1 inches. So I got to go 6.5 inches of overhang on the side. So on this side we should have about a 6.5 inch overhang, right about there. One about a 2-inch overhang here. Two inch there. About a 6.5. Right there. 2-inch overhang there. Two-inch. $36. Now I just put a couple longer screws where the panels overlap, possibly. All right, well that's the gist of the roofing. I got one more panel to do on this side. I'll go knock out the other side and I'll catch up with you when that's done. Okay, so we got all the panels up on the roof now. So last thing I need to do is measure, cut my roof cap and get that installed. So I took an overall measurement of the roof and I got 110.5. So that's what we're going to try to cut it and keep it as tight to the edge as we possibly can. Well, this has been a long day. I left the farm at 7:15 this morning to go get 2x4s for the roof, and it's currently 7:30 at night.
Whoa!
Yeah, I spent over 12 hours working on this.
That is a long time.
But it looks amazing. Look, we've got the siding done, we got the roof on. What do you think of it?
I love it a lot.
You love it a lot?
I even, when it's done, I think I'm even going to invite some friends over.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.